Alright guys, welcome back to More Ignorance in Basketball. Now before I start talking about this Game 1 victory for our Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals, I just have to say it again. We've been talking about ring season since November. We've been having to hear just snarky comments from Clippers fans who are subhumans. Pacers fans have been in the comments, disgusting, saying, Suns aren't winning anything. Good luck though. Appreciate it. I don't remember any of your names because you're not people in my eyes, but hey, we appreciate you. But couple quick announcements before we get into the victory. Number one, I'm telling you guys, you need to follow the Twitch. If you're a Suns fan, follow the Twitch at Ignorance in Basketball because it's just the best part of this channel. That's where I'm breaking down the games. We're roasting. There's some disgusting, and I mean disgusting, and I use this term loosely, human being named Ben Maller who had the fucking nerve to run his mouth about the Suns, and this man was talking crazy. He said that he liked the Patrick Beverley push, and you guys know the way I talk. You may want to check to see what I said about this man, and I didn't pull any punches, just let that be known. The highlights for that are in the second channel, but I'm telling you, you want to see this stuff live. The Instagram at Ignorance in Basketball. Everything is in the description below. But let's talk about the game because, let's be real, that's what we're here for. Number one off top, I'm just happy Giannis was healthy. It's crazy that the day before he was doubtful and then he's playing. I've never seen that before in my life. I don't know why the Bucks were trying to do all this CIA secrecy shit. Oh yeah, he's just doing court work. Yeah, he's doubtful, and then he's just shows the fuck up. It's like, okay, I don't know if you tried to do a little fucking sneak attack there. It didn't work, so you look stupid. You could have just said he was gonna play, but hey, it is what it is. I get it. It's the finals. You need all the advantages you can get. And I gotta say, not only did he play, but he looked good. He had that chase down block that everybody's dick riding over. He was really aggressive early on. Maybe he got a little gassed. I think he played, like 35 minutes? And I'm assuming when you haven't played in that long and your knee's fucked up, you probably can't do a lot of cardio. You know, your wind may have been gone. I'm expecting to be, better throughout the series. He had 20 and 17, which is great, shooting over 50% from the field, but I'm expecting him to get into the 30s a couple times, maybe even the 40s, who knows. I hope not, but who knows. Another thing, I did notice in the beginning of the game that Lopez was giving the Bucks a little bit of trouble. They had Ayton on Giannis, which I like, and then they had Crowder on Lopez, which, obviously, what the fuck is Crowder supposed to do with that? This man's like a foot taller than him, and probably like 100 pounds bigger than him. So they were using, Lopez was just doing rim runs, getting right underneath the rim, and then there was really nothing Crowder could do. So one turned into a foul on Giannis, and then one was just 2 points for Lopez. And I didn't love that, but I think that was really the only time we saw that. I mean, Chris Paul was going off so much in the third that Brook Lopez didn't even play in the fourth at all. So that was muy bien. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I told you, he's going to play Brook Lopez off the floor because they do that drop coverage, and fucking Coach Bud doesn't make adjustments at all. I don't know why he doesn't. I also don't know why his eyes are so fucking bloodshot red. But they are. Is he in a drunken stupor? Look up what that term means if you don't know. We're getting educated out here, okay? We're leveling up. Just kidding. I will continue to say fuck every other word because it's funny to me. It just is. Deal with it. So yeah, there was that in the beginning of the game. I also noticed that Chris Paul was doing his usual thing. Some of us in the cult took it as nervousness because he wasn't really looking for a shot that much, but I'm like, this is what Chris Paul does 9 games out of 10. He lets everybody else get into a rhythm, feeds guys like Ayton, wants to make sure Booker is getting hot, and he had 12 points in the first, which was huge. And I gotta give a shout out to Booker because he didn't even shoot well today. He was 1 of 8 from 3. He did finish with 27 points, but I think he took 22 shots to get there. But even though his shot wasn't falling, this man is smart enough to know to get to the foul line. I think he was, 10 of 10 from the free throw line? That was everything. Because if he didn't do that, they may have lost this game. And I just got to say, the cult is feeling extremely confident about this series, as am I. They're calling a sweep. I don't know about that. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. Either way, like I said before this series even started, this is 100% the Suns series to lose. If they lose this shit, I will be fucking emotionally devastated. I'm just letting you know that right now. It'll be like a breakup. I'll be like in the fetal position crying for like 2 weeks. Okay, maybe that's a bit dramatic, but you guys know how I feel. All right, it's not going to be a good day or a couple of days. Another thing I noticed early is that the Bucks were switching a lot and the Suns just took advantage. Like, I don't know why the Bucks were doing that, but I was thinking about it. I don't know what the Bucks can do to guard the Suns. That's why I feel really good about this series. Because even though Bud doesn't make any fucking adjustments, I did see them try 3 different things and it didn't really work. They switched and Chris Paul or Booker just ISO'd the big and just busted their ass. Either got a foul on one of the bigs, just blew past them and kicked out to a shooter, or just got to the fucking rim. So you have that. And then they did their little drop coverage bullshit. That clearly didn't work. They were literally just picking out who they wanted to guard them. They would ISO them 3 in your eye, take you off the dribble, get to the fucking lane, Portis cross you up, embarrass you in front of your entire family. That's an easy 2 points. Chris Paul was even embarrassing Giannis. It just wasn't a good look. And I was thinking, if I was a Bucks fan, which is disgusting, and I'm not that, but if I was one and I used my same, serial killer-esque brain, I was like, what could they do to shut this team down? I heard some people saying you could blitz Chris Paul, try to get the ball out of his hands, but I saw that and then DA would just rim run and that was a dunk right there. So they tried that too and it didn't work. Chris Paul's too good of a passer and he knows it's coming before it even fucking happens. So I just don't really know what this team can do. I don't think they have enough good perimeter defenders to shut guys like Booker or Chris Paul down. You have Drew Holiday and you have Middleton. But do you really want to use Middleton that much on the defensive end when he's your best scorer? I wouldn't, but maybe. So, I don't know. It's just not looking good for the Bucks. I just don't think they're a great matchup, to be honest. Also, I do have to talk about Sarge going down. I don't know what his status is, but let's be real. I'm tired of the I don't know who I'm going to get. You guys know I'm an emotional fan. It's like, are we going to get Sarge, who again is the worst basketball player I've ever seen in my life? Or are we going to get Dario, who is the greatest athlete of all time? I don't know. I'd rather just go with somebody like Craig, who I know is going to get boards. He's going to play pretty good defense. It's not like Sarge is really shutting any bigs down anyway. Let's be real about it. So I feel good about Craig. He pretty much does everything that the Suns need him to do. I still think for next season, they definitely need to get like a legitimate backup for fucking DA so this man doesn't have to play like 42 minutes a game. Because they put Kaminsky in there and this motherfucker did absolutely nothing but turn the ball over. I mean, I saw Chris Paul trying to feed him over PJ Tucker. He couldn't get the fucking ball. I'm like, PJ Tucker is 6'2". You're fucking 7 feet tall. What is the problem? That's like me being in the post. I'm 6 feet, right? Some say I'm 6'1". I'll take it. That's like a child guarding me, like a fucking 7th grader guarding me, and he gets the ball over me. People are gonna look at me like I'm a bitch. Alright, I apologize for interrupting another 10 out of 10 video, but I did just get another message from YouTube, and they wanted me to tell you guys that if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, YouTube, not me, will be personally sending you a Beyblade, a real Beyblade. I'm not talking about some shit from Target. So if you're into that, if you're into things that spin, this may be your day. Okay? It may be your day. So I'm saying, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and just see what happens. You may get a Beyblade. And if you're not into Beyblades, I would say do it anyway because you could just give it to somebody else. It's kind of selfish of you to not give it to a friend, but that's just my opinion. But let's get back to the video. I don't give a fuck how grown this fucking 7th grader is. He's short. He's a little child. Get the fucking ball, Kaminsky. Damn, he did absolutely nothing. There was another time he had a clear rebound, It's like he dipped both of his hands in baby oil and butter and just lost it. I'm like, how are you in the National Basketball Association and are this useless? And I'm sorry, Kaminsky, I don't mean everything I'm saying. I'm just emotional. And also, I kind of hope you're not on the team next year. If you are, you should be like a third or fourth option for a center. We need a legit backup 5 and a legit backup 4, and then maybe you can be on the very end of the bench. Maybe. Because hey, we're trying to repeat here. All right, let's go for 2 in a row. Let's go for 2 in a row. Also, another thing I noticed, and I know I'm all over the place, but that is the energy that we have here. The Suns played faster. Chris Paul even brought it up that guys are getting on him about playing faster. When the Suns play fast, especially when Chris Paul has the ball in his hands, this team is really fucking hard to beat. They're really fucking hard to beat. So it was great that they did that, especially when you're going against guys like Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, who aren't the most athletic gentlemen in the world. I definitely think that is the move. Also, I got to give a shout out to Cam Johnson. He's been the most consistent shooter since the Clippers series. He's been great. He even had a huge steal on Giannis late when I was like, oh fuck, I hate this matchup. He actually stole the ball from him, so Cam Johnson, obviously you're listening because what else would you be doing with your time? Shout out to you. You've been nothing but muy bien. This man is basically a rookie and he's balling out pretty much all fucking playoffs. I remember he had a steal on LeBron late too. I think it was game 6. He's been nothing short of phenomenal. But I know I'm all over the place, and hey man, it is what it is. So let's just talk about the 20-point lead that the Suns somewhat blew. I'm not worried about it. I don't know if some of you are, but I will say this is 2 games in a row where when Suns have a big lead, Chris Paul comes out of the game and the lead immediately goes to shit. Now, I feel like a lot of that did have to do with Middleton just going fucking crazy and hitting everything. And Craig was guarding him for pretty much all those plays, and he was playing pretty good defense. I mean, you have a fucking hand right in the man's face. He's just hitting shots. There's not really a whole lot you can do about that. Like I said, I think Chris Paul goes to the bench. They're up by 20 or 19, and immediately he goes out with a couple minutes left in the third, and immediately it goes from 20 to 11, and then 9, and then they bring Chris Paul back in. It gets all the way to 7. Chris Paul takes, I think it was Jrue Holiday off the dribble, kicks it out to Booker, brings it back to 10. Thank God. I mean, Booker, you went 1 of 8 from 3, but that one was the biggest 3 you needed to hit all night. So shout out to you for that. But it was pretty much over from there on out. I think they got it back to 9 one more time with a not Brent, but Bren Forbes 3. But I feel like the momentum was pretty much gone at that point, and it was over. It was over. So Chris Paul just went crazy in the fucking second half, as he almost always does, especially in that third quarter. He just went fucking insane. And Booker really held it down the first half, and then Chris Paul kind of finished it out. DA was great throughout. Cam Johnson was great. Mikal was really good. Crowder, not your best shooting night, but he does so many things, even offensively and defensively to make up for it. I'm not really tripping. And we all know he'll show up when they need him. He's like the fucking Avatar. So I'm just really fucking proud of this team. And the more I say it, the less weird it becomes to say, but it still feels weird to say I'm proud of people that I don't know. But I am. Just the way that this team has grown throughout the season to see where they're at now, it's Disney-esque. Ayton, I'm sure Chris Paul has been bitching at you since the fucking moment this man has stepped in Phoenix, and he's taken everything with stride. You don't see him fucking pouting. You don't see him fucking bitching. He was definitely inconsistent throughout the regular season, but this man has fucking elevated his game in the playoffs, and he is about to get fucking paid, and he deserves it. So I just wanted to say this team has been fucking amazing. It's been an amazing ride with everybody in the cult. But let's get into these numbers, because obviously we're only about math here. There are no jokes. There is no emotion. We are only about the statistics, and we are only about the math. So obviously it was 118 to 105. The Suns won, if you hadn't heard. Now, the Suns did lose the rebounding battle, but with a team this fucking big, I feel like as long as you keep it close, you're good. It was 43 to 47 in the Bucks' favor. Only 18 assists. I think that had a lot to do with all the fucking ISOs that the Suns were doing. I mean, if you're going to switch like that and put bigs on guys like Booker or Chris Paul, like, they're not fucking passing that out, you know? That is just their time to shine. So I think that's why the assists were so low. And you can tell that my analysis is on another level. Tim Legler-esque by a take like that. Is Skip Bayless saying shit like that? No. Do you know why? Because he's an incel. 9 steals, muy bien. Only 1 block. And I think it may have been the block that they thought went to Crowder with fucking patty fastballs, but this man literally just blocked himself and threw it off the corner of the fucking backboard. Absolutely hilarious. They kept the turnovers low again with only 9. Now, the Bucks had 13. I'm telling you, they're way more turnover prone than the Clippers are. The Clippers were really good at keeping their turnovers low, and I give them credit for that, even though they pussy. The Suns only shot 46% from the field. They shot 96.2% from the free throw line. Crowder, why did you have to miss that one? Why? But it is what it is. And 32% from the three-point line. Bucks 105, 47 boards, 21 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 13 turnovers. They shot 40, we'll round up, 46% from the field, 56.3% from the free throw line. Shout out to Giannis. And 44% from 3. So let's talk about the sweep, right? People in the cult are yelling sweep. Kylan, if you know, you're a real cult member. If you don't, all I gotta say is get on the Twitch, get on the Discord. Kylan is feeling very strongly about this sweep. And I say I don't know quite yet. I'm not with you guys all the way on board with the sweep. But in defense of the cult, I will say this. The Suns shot 32% from 3, right? I think Booker was 1 for 8. Crowder was like 0 for 5, 0 of 8 from the field. They had a 20-point lead, and they only lost it because Middleton went fucking crazy. Middleton had 29. The Suns only shot 46% from the field, 47 if you round up, and they won by 13. You know what I mean? And the Bucks shot 44% from 3. Now, they only shot 45% from the field, and that can go up if Giannis, starts playing better, which I'm expecting, but he could just get more shots up and be worse. It's very possible. The way that they guarded him late was a lot better. They were really collapsing on him, especially when he got in deep in the post. So a sweep is definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Now, this Bucks team is not bad. I give them a lot of credit for fighting back when they were down 20. I mean, when you're down by 20 going into the fourth, it's pretty easy to give up, especially when you're on the road. You've been playing a lot of fucking games. The Suns had a much longer break than you. You could have given up, but they fought back, so I give them credit for that. But another thing I will say is Drew Holiday was like, 4 for 14? And Giannis only had 20 points. So if you look at those things, it's like, maybe they'll play better. But like Chris Middleton was good. He had 29 and 7. It's pretty fucking good. Shooting almost 50% from the field. 5 of 12 from 3. It's not like he had a bad game, I'll get into the shooting numbers now, but like I said, Booker was 1 of 8 from 3. Crowder was 0 of 8 from the field, so it's like the Suns definitely have room to improve. But let's get into the shooting numbers. Starting off with Cameron Johnson, 21 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field last time I checked. That's 50%. 2 of 4 from 3 last time I checked. That's 50%. He finished with 10 points, 2 assists, and 3 boards. He's been fucking phenomenal all season long. Frank Kaminsky, if you think I was hating, 4 minutes, which I know isn't a whole lot, but there is a reason it was only 4. 0 points, 0 assists, and 0 rebounds. We love that. For the record, Saric only played 2 minutes, and at least he had 1 board. So, Mikal Bridges, 30 minutes, 5 of 13 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, finished with 14 points, 1 assist, 1 board. Mikal was great. This is one of his better games throughout the playoffs, and I'm only expecting him to get better and better. Ayton had to play 39 minutes. That's a lot for a big. Like I'm saying, they need to get this motherfucker some help during the offseason. He needs a backup or like a 4 with some size, even though I do like Crowder starting, so I don't know how they're going to manage that, but he needs at least a solid backup. That is their main thing, besides re-signing everybody, obviously, which I don't think is going to be an issue, especially coming off of that sweet championship. And yes, I'm calling it. I don't give a fuck if that offends you. But Ayton had 22 points, 19 boards because Chris Paul stole the last one. Come on, Chris. What are you doing? What are you doing? We do appreciate you going to the fucking scorers table, though, and trying to get it to him. That's leadership. Cameron Payne showed the fuck up today, too. 17 minutes. Finished with 10 points, 1 board. It's weird to see him with no assists, but like I said, this was a kind of an ISO-heavy game because they were switching so much. It's kind of expected. You take what the defense gives you, but he shot 4 of 8 from the field last time I checked. That's 50%. 2 of 5 from 3. He played fucking great. Crowder, we've already gone over his stats, but 33 minutes, 0 of 8 from the field, 1 point, 9 boards. At least, like I'm saying, he does enough to make up for his poor shooting. When he has shooting nights like this, it is what it is. And he usually doesn't have 2 in a row. So Crowder, we'll be looking for you. And then we got Craig, played 16 minutes, 2 points, 3 boards. And then we got Devin Booker, of course, 42 minutes, 8 of 21 from the field. Like I'm saying, like he didn't have an amazing shooting night. 1 of 8 from 3, but he finished with 27 points, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. And then last, but certainly not least, we got Chris Paul, 37 minutes. Not bad. 12 of 19 from the field. I'm not a mathematician, but that's pretty damn good. 4 of 7 from 3, over 50%. See how quickly I did that math? Because I'm skilled. 32 points, 9 assists, 4 boards. Like, the man just went the fuck off. And I'm expecting him to continue to do that, because if they're going to play that drop coverage, you're giving him exactly what he wants, which is that mid-range jump shot. That is what his whole fucking career is. That's what his game is. So, like I said, I don't know what the Bucks can do to stop this fucking team. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they can do. I think they're just gonna lose. So, like I'm not trying to be a dick. Well, I am a little bit because it's my brand, but let's be real. They played the Heat, who are a fringe playoff team. They swept them. That's great. They were about to lose to the Nets. Kyrie goes down. They barely finish it off. They were one KD. If KD was fucking 2 shoe sizes smaller, they lose to the Nets with KD and Harden on one leg. They're neck and neck with the Hawks. Trae Young goes down. So it's like, I'm not going to act like this fucking Bucks team is amazing. The Suns at least played, like, it's not their fault. Nobody really went down except for AD during a series. You know what I mean? It's like the Clippers were already unhealthy when they beat the Jazz. The Nuggets already lost Jamal Murray when they beat the Blazers. It's not like the Suns were down, 0-2, and then Jamal Murray went down and then they finish it off. It's like, no, they've just been playing the teams that have been in front of them. So, except for AD with the Lakers, I guess. But like I said, Chris Paul had one fucking arm that whole series, so I really don't want to hear shit. And people who are saying LeBron wasn't healthy, I'm like, this motherfucker was perfectly fine when he was dunking on people and dancing in people's fucking faces in Game 3, so I really don't want to hear that shit. But hey, it is what it is. This video is long enough. Damn, we're already almost at 30 minutes. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. Everybody go follow the Instagram and the Twitch at Ignorance in Basketball. The highlights are on the second channel, Live Ignorance. The link for everything is in the description. And that's all I got. We'll see you guys after Game 2. Peace.